Welcome and thanks for logging on to WYCC.org for In the Loop, the After Show. Joining us today are Jada Russell, founder and chief strategist for High Style Marketing and PR, Ty Wansley, radio personality for Clear Channel Chicago, and David Viggiano, media director for Alpatac Marketing. Hello again. Hello. Thanks for being here. Now, from the news site that brought us fabulous headlines like world death rate holds steady at 100% and drugs win drug war, we're now going to see ads for health insurance in Illinois. The state is now deciding to spend $150,000 on an ad campaign aimed at young people to get them to sign on to the Affordable Care Act. Dave, you're a marketing guy. Is this a good idea or a waste of money?
Well, I think hooking up with the Onion, I love the Onion. I read it all the time. I think it's really funny. But I think you get into some murky area. Like sometimes I'm reading it and I go to a review and I'm like, wait, is this satire or is this real? And the same thing with ads. And I think that, you know, the coming out of the Affordable Care Act with the whole debacle with the website already is ripe for satire. And if you're going to, you know, connect it with the Onion, I think it's kind of murky area. I don't think it's something that we should make fun of. I understand they want to reach out to younger people to try to get them to sign up. I think maybe there are better ways to do it.
Some might argue that we're used to seeing satire. We're used to Jon Stewart and The Daily Show, and maybe this is a more sophisticated audience that we give them credit for. Jada, what are your thoughts on this?
I love it. I think it'll attract young people. That's the group they're going after. I think that's the group that hasn't really engaged quite yet. And you kind of have to meet people where they are in a tone that they're used to responding to. And I think that this merger could really do this. I think this collaboration could really get their attention.
And they're actually buying headlines, as I understand it. Young men sell action figures to buy health insurance.
Love that.
Things like that. But the question is, you know, in Obamacare, only about 1 in 4 of those signing up are the young people that they're looking for. So they have a very serious issue attracting the very people they need to make this economically feasible.
I think it all depends on your definition of young people, because, you know, if you hearken back to the first time that then Senator Obama ran, he had the quote unquote young people. I mean, it was an automatic target market, and they were with he and Michelle. But now I think you have to really define who the young people are. But I totally agree with David that sometimes satire can work.
Now they're looking for people who are, I guess, are between 18 and 34 and are healthy. We need 40% of those people in the system, according to the government, to make this work. David, if you're looking for people in that age range to go after as a marketing group, what venues would you use?
That's a good question, and it's not easy to determine. I know when I was that age, I thought I was invincible too. I know they call them the Invincibles. I put off buying my own health insurance as long as I possibly could. Now that there's a fine connected to it, I mean, I guess it's just a question of what will the follow-up be and what are the ramifications for younger people who are signing up, and I don't think that they think there are going to be any right now. So I think it'll take a little time to catch up. I just don't even know if you're advertising what the best place is to really grab them. I just think we should just put it out there and make them aware.
Would it be social media? Would it be Twitter?
Digital.
Would it be Facebook, as opposed to even the Onion, which is in some ways sort of a highbrow niche publication?
I totally think it's digital and viral, which is where they, I think, are targeting to be. Yeah. And social media, all those things, mobile, you know, I think you have to go that route to get young people. They're not watching TV the same way. They're watching it on their mobile devices. They're not reading papers. So.
And historically, there's been such a tight connection between the media, entertainment, and I think young people, quote unquote, in general. Everybody has to have a hook. So I think this is a very unique hook if it's effectively used by the administration.
I also think we need to make them aware of what their options are, that just because you're signing up for health care doesn't mean you have to pay $500 a month. If you're younger, you can get catastrophic. You could spend a lot less money, and their options, and it will protect you from, you know, having to pay hospital bills for the rest of your life. So there's good ways just to get the message out. And social media, I agree, is probably the best way.
All right, switching gears, we move on to the taste of Chicago. Mayor Daley said it was always beef free. Not so much. It had lost money for a number of years, made money for the first time last year with some cost adjustments. And now Mayor Rahm Emanuel says he wants to increase the ticket prices even further, up to $50 a seat for concert tickets. Jada, good idea, bad idea?
You know, I think people will pay it. I think they will pay for premium seats, especially in the band shell. If you have been out in the masses, caught in the frenzy of a concert before and after, I think if you really want to sit down, you'll pay the extra fee. I don't think it'll really hurt anyone.
Is the city in danger of appearing to be nickel and diming everything? I mean, we're paying more now for the red light cameras and the speed cameras and the dog licenses and everything else. It's almost like the airline just started out with a free lunch and now you pay for everything.
Yeah, and when I do newscasts on the Clear Channel Network, you're talking about nickel and diming. I look at a situation like the overnight parking ban, the winter parking ban, even though it isn't strictly enforced now, but the city threw it out as a threat. If you park between 3 a.m. and 7 a.m. in front of your own house and there's no snow, we'll tow your car and it's going to cost you a couple of $100. And you know what a subterranean world it is to go to one of these car towing places. So yeah, I think that does amount to nickel and diming, and there's a certain threat there involved. And it is nickel and diming. Don't have to do that.
Yeah, but I think with entertainment, it might be a little bit different. Why should Lollapalooza and these private companies make all this money? The city, like you said, turned everything around. I mean, we made it $250,000 last year, and a $1.6 million difference in what was coming in. I think just for a nice seat at the front of the concert, if people will pay it, why not? There's still going to be like 34,000, I think, seats in the lawn area that are free. So if you can, for some premium things and bring in a little extra money, I thought it was great that they cut it in half from 10 to 5 days. As long as they're not charging to get in, then I think it's fine.
But even food is going to cost more, right? You can buy those little tickets and they're going to be 50 cents more than they were last year. So it's going to be more expensive.
Yes.
And the city needs the money.
They do.
They do.
And in the long run, it has to be one of the best historic tourist attractions. Between that, Navy Pier, and other attractions, I guess the taste is always going to be there.
All right, we'll leave it at that. Jada Russell, Ty Wansley, David Viggiano, thank you. Until next time, goodbye.
Good night.